Have you ever felt that your biggest dreams were on the other side of a giant, unscalable wall? I want to tell you about Sarah, a woman who felt exactly that way. Sarah dreamed of writing a novel. It was a beautiful, vivid story that lived in her heart, but the thought of writing an entire book was overwhelming. The wall seemed too high. Every day she would look at the blank page on her computer and feel a wave of anxiety wash over her. The pressure to create a masterpiece from nothing was paralyzing. She told herself she didn't have enough time, she wasn't a real writer, her idea probably wasn't good enough anyway. These stories we tell ourselves can become our heaviest chains, holding us back from the very things that could set us free. One evening, after another day of not writing, a friend gave her some simple advice.
Don't try to write a book, he said.
Just write for 10 minutes. No pressure to write a chapter or even a perfect paragraph. Just 10 minutes. The next morning, Sarah sat down, set a timer on her phone, and made a promise to herself. Just 10 minutes. She started typing, not worrying about whether the words were good or bad. She just let them flow. When the timer went off, she had written a few paragraphs. It wasn't much, but it was something. It was more than she had written in months. The wall didn't seem so impossibly high anymore. She had found a small crack, a tiny foothold. That small act became her daily ritual. Why do we wait? We all have that thing we want to do, that project we want to start, that healthy habit we want to adopt. We know it will be good for us. We can almost taste the satisfaction of achieving it. Yet, we find ourselves saying, I'll start tomorrow. I'll do it when I have more time. I'll begin once I feel more motivated. These are the whispers of procrastination. They sound so reasonable, so logical in the moment. The conditions aren't perfect right now. We need to prepare more. We're just too tired today. The voice of later is seductive. Comfort now, effort later. Waiting for the right moment is something we all share. It's a deeply human experience. The fear of failure is a powerful force. We worry that if we start and don't succeed, it will confirm our deepest insecurities. We aren't good enough. Go to the gym for 2 hours, or not at all. Write an entire chapter, or not a single word. Perfectionism paralyzes us before we begin. This waiting game creates a quiet anxiety. Each delay tells our subconscious we can't be trusted to follow through. It's a small betrayal of the promises we make to ourselves. Recognize these whispers of later for what they are, not a sign the time isn't right, but a signal that fear is present. When we put off our goals, we are carrying the emotional weight of that inaction every single day. It's like having a backpack you never take off. With every promise to start tomorrow, you add another small stone. At first, you barely notice it. Weeks, months, years. The backpack gets heavier, slowing you down and draining your spirit. You might not even realize why you feel so tired or uninspired. Often it's the burden of the laters. Seeing someone else's highlight reel while carrying your behind the scenes quietly erodes your self-trust. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you teach your mind your words don't have power. You say you'll wake up early to meditate, but you hit snooze. You say you'll eat healthy, but grab fast food. Each of these small instances chips away at your belief in your ability to change. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The gap between potential and reality is a heavy burden. But what if you could start taking those stones out, one by one? You don't have to empty the entire backpack at once. The process begins with a single, small action. By keeping one tiny promise to yourself, you start to reverse the cycle. The weight doesn't vanish overnight, but you feel a little lighter. Let's think about school for a moment. Remember that feeling of being assigned a massive research paper? The deadline seems ages away, but the topic is huge and you have no idea where to begin. The sheer scale of the project makes you want to do anything else. You clean your room, you organize your bookshelf. Anything to avoid the discomfort of that blank document staring back at you. This is the academic version of the wall Sarah faced. Now, imagine a student named Liam, who is facing this exact challenge. But instead of trying to write the entire paper, his teacher gives him a different instruction. For the next 10 minutes, just open a few books and find one interesting quote. That's it. Not all the sources, not the perfect outline, just find one single quote. He pulls a book from the shelf, flips through the pages, finds a sentence that sparks his interest, and writes it down. In that moment, something shifts. He is no longer someone who is avoiding his paper. He is someone who has started his research. This small victory is incredibly important. It breaks the inertia. The next day, Liam's task is to find 2 more quotes. The day after that, it's to write a single paragraph summarizing what he has found. Each step is small, concrete, and achievable. Each completed task gives a small hit of progress. The final paper wasn't the result of one heroic session. It was the sum of many 10-minute efforts, a skyscraper built brick by brick. He proved to himself day after day that he could complete small tasks and build real confidence. Now let's step into the world of work. Think about that big, ambitious project your boss just assigned you. It's a huge opportunity, and honestly, pretty terrifying. You sit at your desk, staring at your computer, feeling the weight of expectation. Your mind races, and you find yourself checking emails or getting coffee instead of doing the task that matters. This is where Maria, a project manager, found herself. Her mentor said, "Forget the whole strategy for now. What is the absolute smallest action you can take to move forward? Just one." The smallest action she could think of was to send one email to the data analytics team to request last quarter's performance report. It was a simple 2-sentence email. It took less than 5 minutes to write and send. The moment she hit send, she felt a palpable sense of relief. She had moved the needle, even if just by a millimeter. That one email created a ripple effect. The next day, when the data team replied, she had information to work with. Her next small step was to spend 10 minutes looking at the report and writing down 3 key observations. From there, she scheduled a 15-minute meeting to discuss one observation. She broke the colossal project down into tiny, manageable tasks. Each completed task gave her a small hit of dopamine and fueled the next step. She was building momentum, proving to herself with each small action that she was capable of handling the project. The project was no longer a stationary object of fear. It was in motion, a ripple effect that began with one tiny step. Let's talk about our health. We all know we should move more, eat better, and manage our stress. But knowing and doing are 2 very different things. The idea of overhauling our lifestyle can feel monumental. Consider David, tired and stressed. He bought a yoga mat and new running shoes, and a meditation app subscription. But the gear sat in the corner, gathering dust. The thought of a 60-minute workout or a 30-minute meditation was too much. One day, feeling stressed, he unrolled the mat and told himself, "I'll lie down and take one deep breath." He took a slow, conscious inhale and a long, slow exhale. It took about 10 seconds, and he felt something shift. The next day, he did it again. 3 deep breaths. After a week, he tried a 5-minute stretch, then a 10-minute beginner yoga flow. He added 1 piece of fruit to breakfast and walked 10 minutes at lunch. Health changed one small thing at a time. It didn't transform overnight. It transformed 1 breath, 1 piece of fruit, 1 10-minute walk at a time. Health isn't about perfection. It's about gentle, consistent progression. There's a concept I love, getting just 1% better every day. 1% is tiny. It's almost unnoticeable. 1 page, 1 push-up, 1 minute of meditation. On any given day, that 1% feels insignificant. You won't see dramatic change tomorrow. But compound growth is quiet and unstoppable. Get 1% better every day for a year, and you'll be nearly 38 times better. Conversely, get 1% worse each day by procrastinating or poor choices, and you will decline. The daily choices we make are like a vote for the person we want to become. Think of it like a rudder on a massive ship. Small, consistent adjustments determine the vessel's ultimate destination. Your 10-minute habit is that rudder. It steers you toward the life you truly desire. 1 page, 1 push-up, $1 saved, 1 minute of meditation. These small votes add up. They allow you to build momentum quietly and consistently. Before you know it, you will look back and be astonished at how far you've come, not through one giant leap, but through thousands of tiny, faithful steps. Starting small is more effective than attempting massive change. A tiny habit flies under the radar of resistance and doesn't drain willpower. A massive change requires huge willpower. A 1% improvement is easy and sustainable. It's how momentum is made. Start with the smallest possible next step and let compound growth do the rest. No matter how small you start or how much momentum you build, There will be days when you stumble. There will be a day when you don't do your 10-minute habit. You'll miss your walk. You'll forget to write. In that moment, the old critical voice will roar, "I told you you couldn't do it. You always give up." This is a critical moment. How you respond will determine whether you get back on the path. Progress is not a straight line. It's messy, a winding path with dips and detours. A setback is not a failure. It is simply a data point. Treat setbacks as feedback. Ask, why did I stumble? Were you too tired? Too stressed? Did you set the bar too high? The most successful people are not those who never fail, but those who are quickest to get back up. Acknowledge the stumble, learn the lesson, adjust, and begin again the very next day. The rule is simple. Never miss twice. Don't waste time on guilt. Make getting back on the horse your priority. The ability to begin again and again will lead you to where you want to go. Your journey is long. A single misstep does not define your direction. It's the resilience you show that matters. I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the person you want to be a year from now, or 5 years. They are healthy, fulfilled, and at peace. They have written that book, run that race, built that business, or learned that skill. They move with a quiet confidence not because they are perfect, but because they have learned to trust themselves. Now imagine that person is writing you a letter from the future. The letter says, "Thank you. Thank you for starting today. I know it feels hard now. I know you're scared and overwhelmed." And the voice of later is whispering in your ear, "I am the result of the 10 minutes you are about to spend." That single action you take today is the first stone in the foundation of the life I am now living. It might feel insignificant now, but to me it was everything. I am you after hundreds of small, consistent acts of self-belief. I am here because you didn't give up when you stumbled, and because you were kind to yourself and chose to begin again. I am here because you were kind to yourself and chose to begin again. So please listen to that voice, not the voice of fear, but the voice of your future self. They are cheering for you. They believe in you because they are living proof of your potential. All they need you to do is take the first step. Just 10 minutes. That's all it takes. 10 minutes today to change all of your tomorrows. What is the one small thing you can do right now after reading this? Don't wait for the right moment. The moment is now. Your future is not something that happens to you. It is something you create, starting with the very next 10 minutes of your life. Begin.